In this video, I'm going to show you how to call a JavaScript function in the browser, but from Java running on the server side, and the other way around, how to call a Java method in the server from a JavaScript function. All right, so I have this project here, and in fact, there are many projects because this is part of my upcoming book on Vaadin, but this is the important one. This is just a Vaadin project with one class, with one view that extends vertically out, and it's this mapped to this route. So let's create a new button here that says toggle. And let's assign this to a new variable and a new image as well. So I guess this requires the source and the alt. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the link from here, from the OpenJDK page, copy image link. A very cheerful Duke, and maybe we want to make this image widthful. Maybe that's a good idea. And of course, we need to add the button and the image to the vertical layout. So let me open a web browser over here, and let's request that view. Don't show this again. Yeah, so it's working. Now what we want to do is we want to call a JavaScript function from here. This is server-side Java. And so for that we need to create first a new JavaScript file here in front end. So I'm going to call it script.js. Make sure that you are adding it here. There we go. Let me move this over there so we can see the Java code at the same time. And we need to load that file with JS module, and it was called script.js. Okay, so now we can define the function here. So you might think it's a good idea to just go ahead and create a function like this. Function, let's say toggle, and we pass the element, right? But in fact, what we want to do is add a new object to the window scope, if you wish. And let's move this over here, and so the notation should change to this because it's an object, and so this object is going to be a function. And now we can implement the functionality to toggle the visibility, let's say, of this image. And I'd like to use jQuery. So we need to load jQuery. The way you do it is the same. It's actually a script, and I'm gonna get it from here. I have the page ready. So let's copy this link. That is jQuery, and now we can use jQuery here. So let me select the element, and I think it's fade toggle. I hope that's the correct one. I think it is. Well, we can just try here. So we want to call that function when we click this button. So button.add, click listener event, and here we're going to call that that function. So how to do that? UI.getCurrent.getPage execute JS, and here we can put any JavaScript expression. So we need to use this namespace dot toggle, and we pass the parameter. So the parameters we specify them here. I need to pass what we need to toggle, which is the image, and I need to specify the position here, starting with 0. The position here in this list of parameters. So you're of course going to use 1, 2, 3 if you have more parameters here, right? Like this would be the parameter 1, 2, etc. Okay, very good. I think this should work. Let's see if this restarted automatically. There we go. So now we can toggle the cheerful Duke. Very good. What else can we do here? How about returning something? If we want to return, for example, new date dot, let's use, I guess this, that should be a string. How can we use that that value here in the server side. So if you have a look at this method, it returns a pending JavaScript result. That means we need to use the then method. Let me format this a little bit. And we have the result here. Result that we can use. For example, notification.show result as string. Let me format this again. Okay, so that's how you use the return value from the function. But there's a problem still. So let me refresh this to reload everything. You will see that this is null. So it's not really taking that. It's because this result is the return value from this expression, and this is not returning anything. We need to say return some value, right? So remember to put this return here. Now let's try that again. Toggle. Now we see that it shows the date. Very good. Okay, how about the other way around? How can we call a Java method from JavaScript? So let's explore that. For example, let's say we want to add a click listener to this. Of course, you can add it just with add click listener, but we wouldn't learn much if we do it that way. So I want to add a click listener here in JavaScript to this element, and then call the server. Okay, so for example, we want to call a new function, method here, show or let's say click notification, and we can pass the coordinates of the click event, and we can show the notification here. Let's show, actually let's do it in a nicer way. Message equals string dot format clicked at, then some number and another number, x or y, and we show that message. So we want to call that method from here. In order to enable that, we need to mark this with client callable, otherwise we won't be able to do it. Let's create, for example, we can create a new init function here that receives the element that's going to kind of receive the clicks, but we need also something to be able to call this show click notification method, and so that's going to be the view, because it's in the view after all, right? It's in this class, so it makes sense. Now we want to take this element, and on click we're gonna say that this is JavaScript. We're gonna say that we want to call the server. We want to call this. So the way to do that is we take the view, and Vaadin adds something special here, which is called server with that notation. So $sign or money sign and then server. Then we can call this method right there and pass, for example, event dot client x, event client y, and yeah, I think that should work. We need to add a comma here because these are this is kind of a map, right? It's a JavaScript object, and I think that should be it. Let's try it out. Okay, it's not working. Let's investigate. Oh, of course, we're creating this function, but we're not calling the function to initialize the logic here to add these click listeners. So we need to do it. So we already know how to do that. Get current, get page, execute JS, namespace init, and then this time we need two parameters. So 0 and 1, and the first one was the element. I forgot to close this string. The element is the image, and the view is this. So that should do the trick. Let me format this maybe, and click. Now it works. All right, that was fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.